Hey guys, Bam here. So for day 3, I wanted to fix two things. First off, I wanted to have more chaos resistance and at least be positive in chaos resistance. And the other thing is that I wanted to have 100% chance to crit. If we look at the build right now, we are only at 73% chance to crit and minus 16 chaos resistance. And why is chaos such a big deal is that if we look at the chaos max hit, it's only 4k. And since we're using the Graven Secret belt, we're getting absorption charges. So absorption charges recoup damage as energy shield. So like pretty much everything is fine but chaos damage. So we're pretty much not immortal but okay on a lot of things. Even though the effective hit pool looks small, if we actually take into account the number of absorption charges, it's pretty good. So yeah, so those are the two things I want to fix for day 3, and we'll see how it goes. So I still want to fix the biggest problem of the build, which is the chaos resistance. So what I'm trying to do is get a bunch of amethyst ring with a chaos resistance and come up with the maximum chaos resistance possible while having a bunch of other resistance to be able to have at least 75 in every elemental resistance. So we'll see what we come up with, and if not, I can always rework the suffixes on this helmet. So we'll see. So the first thing is both of them have 20% resistance to quality, so I'll just Orbit welcome me. This is funny, this is actually pretty good. Like straight up all those resistance. Yeah. But I still think I'll yeah, I don't think it's anything special to be honest. So I'll just the tier 1 strength is pretty cool, but and the fire, but the chaos is too low. And that one is just bad. Okay, so we'll split them both and then start crafting.
The first ones are watching survivor. Don't disappoint them. The ritual is complete.
Again, uh goes through my loot, so make sure I pick them up. It again.
The first ones are watching survivor. Just need a moment. Don't disappoint them. You are truly a survivor.
Alright, so I have the 4 rings, and then we'll go back to the hideout and make sure we make those 2 rares, and then we'll start crafting. Alright, so before crafting, I actually want to buy a bunch of resonators because I don't have any. So I got a bunch of fossils through Delirium rewards, but sadly I didn't delve at all, so I have no resonators, so that's why I'm buying some. And then we can start crafting. Alright, so now that we have everything we need, we can actually make them rares. So all of them are rare now, so we can use the resonators on them. So we just have to suck at the fossils, and then if we get anything useful, we'll just stop and try to sell it if it's worth at least a couple of divines. But if not, we'll keep re-rolling them. So yeah, so sometimes I don't even know why exactly, but sometimes you can't shift click. It's pretty annoying, but still. As you can see, sometimes we are not getting any chaos modifier, and the reason is pretty easy is that fossils are never guaranteed, unlike RT crafting station. But it's so much cheaper using fossils instead of RT crafting station because like the yellow juice is worth a ton right now, so I don't want to be using the yellow life force. So here's a good one. Okay, okay-ish. It has strength, it has intelligence. Doesn't fit like the elemental resistance, but if we look at the price, you can see this is worth something. So maybe it's worth keeping aside and just trying to sell as is. This is a good example of why I say crafting for upgrade is usually a good idea. You can actually make profit while you're crafting. If you keep every single base that's worth money and sell them and start from another base, you can make a bunch of currency with this. So that's why whatever, like this one too, whenever we pick up something useful, we'll just keep it aside and try to sell it as is. Crafting those rings costs us like 4 prismatic catalysts, which are 35 chaos, and the base is worth nothing. And we just pick them up by ourselves. It's a item level 84 amethyst ring, so yeah. If we could craft with fractured rings also, which is something I might do later down the road. But for now, as I said, whenever we come up with something that's good for someone else or that has a lots of high tier of whatever, we just keep it and then until we get something good, and then we can sell those. Especially on League Start, it will be super good doing this because there's so many people trying to fix their chaos resistance. So if you do this, you can actually make a ton of currency. Right now, those rings sell pretty slow, but they still do sell. So as you can see, sometimes like there's like nothing comparable. So you have to like look around for what price could be. This is sad because we hit tier 1 chaos resistance, but the rest is pretty bad. So sadly, we have to re-roll over it. So I'll speed up the process a bit, but yeah, you get the idea. So this is what I did a bunch of times. We're still doing the same thing, so just spamming over and over until we get something good. And if we come up with anything that's worth something, we'll just stop. Here, sadly, we got a bunch of cold resistance and all elemental resistance, so 2 tier 1. But sadly, no chaos, so we'll just have to re-roll over. And sometimes it takes time to get anything worthwhile. As I said, we could start with a fractured item. The reason why I don't is that I don't know how much there will be on League Start, so I don't want to be like dependent on whatever's on League Start. So I would just want to show you that you can do it on any normal amethyst ring. It doesn't need any specific fractured mod. Because of course a fractured tier 1 resistance would be way easier. So we keep spamming until we get something useful. And now you can see we actually hit gas resistance tier 1, some cold resistance, and some all elemental resistance. It's not the highest tier, but it's good enough, so we'll keep it and see what it happens when we equip it. We'll just craft life on it and then test it. So if you look at our current resistance, uh, it's pretty scuffed, to be honest. Like, it's not bad, but we'd have to find some more resistance somewhere else. So if we can get some more resistance from the helmet, but for now we just can't do it. Since I'm not happy with the end result of the ring, I'll just craft some more. So again, we'll just split them.
The
Start with
first
2
ones
of
are
them,
watching survival.
and I'll be using fossils just
Don't
like I
disappoint
was.
them. The
They said you
ritual
could
is
be using the
complete.
yellow juice, but the biggest problem is that the biggest problem is that right now the yellow juice goes for about around 1200 per divine. So yeah, you have like 12 craft. Good, because if you look at it, um, it costs 100 yeah, vivid crystallized life force at a time. So yeah, it's I can show you since I have it done because I've been running memories. But yeah, okay. Now this is a good one. Yeah, tier 1 cast speed and tier 1 chaos with some strand. Yeah, okay, sure. I'll keep that one. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's none. And the other one I have to make it rare. Yeah, so using the fossils cost like 4 or about 3 to 4 chaos per craft, while this costs you 15. So yeah, random. The only thing is that it's guaranteed chaos resistance, but the other modifier are still. So here we got tier 1 chaos as you can see, but the rest is super garbage. So yeah, I'll just keep spamming with the fossils. I'll keep that one way it is right now. Just craft life on it, or maybe minus mana cost to non-channeling. But this one I'll keep using fossils. And we're back with more craft, so just fossils. And the non-guaranteed part kind of sucks. Tier 1 life. I'll sell it. Okay, so that ring again, probably not for us because we don't want accuracy. But since it already has like tier 1 life, um, I think I'll just craft chaos resistance on it, hybrid chaos and elemental resistance, and start with another base again. So maybe any of the chaos resistance. Yeah. So if we look at the price of it, there's probably none on the market, right? Yeah, I'll buy some more bases. Now I'll just speed up the process of crafting and show you the end results. This is pretty good. Golden lightning. Remember that you can always remove a suffix and add a prefix on the beast crafting station. So this is something I did here. I have a 1 chance out of 3 to actually hit what I'm looking for, but this is an option that is available to you. So after crafting for a while, I decided to go back to making some more currency, and that I would craft with a Helical Ring instead. And since they're so pricey, I would either try to farm them myself or buy it. But for now, that was it. I was happy with the build. It's working just fine. So just trying to min-max. So it's not needed right now. So yeah, as you can see, it destroys pretty much everything very quickly. Here you can see Veritania will die in a couple of seconds. So yeah, there's no rush, but yeah, I want to fix my chaos resistance at some point.
I do so enjoy a good murder.
Alright, now how to fix the crit chance? Well, I found the best way is probably using an implicit that has base spell crit on it. So on my slave driver's hand, I have plus 74, plus 0.74 spell crit chance. So yeah, it ramps up by a bunch. I also swapped my Quicksilver Flask, which has a increased critical strike during effect. That's pretty good. And the other thing is that I swapped my jewels, so now I'm using Deadly Infusion. So I have one here, and I remove some points and put the other one here. I don't know the place of them right now, if it's the best or not, but now we have 100% chance to crit. So yeah, this is pretty good. And if you don't know what Deadly Infusion does, I'll just show you in POB. So if we look here, Deadly Infusion is a ascendancy from the Assassin. So it does plus 5 crit multi per power charge. And since we have 11, it's plus 55. And plus 1.5 crit chance. So since we have 11 again, it gives us 12.5 crit chance. So this is why it's super useful. And as you can see now, we have 100% chance to crit. It wasn't cheap though. Both duel were, one was 18 divine and the other one 20. So of course it's not a cheap one, but yeah, it's the best way I found to fix the crit chance. So now you can see the total DPS is like per hit is almost 500 damage. 500,000 damage, I mean. But if we look at the full DPS, we're now at 35 million DPS. So I started looking for the Helical Ring in Heist without any luck, but I did pick up a couple of tailoring and tempering orbs, which I sold for 3 divine each. So yeah, it was worth. But some other times you would get like maybe 5 uniques that were worth nothing, or maybe as you will see in this clip, just an orb of annulment. So running all that just for an orb of annulment is pretty bad, especially this league since like Magic Find is so present and the Wisp are so good. So yeah, I don't know if I'll keep going into heist, but yeah, or if not, I'll just buy a base and start crafting with it. And now some of the sales for day 3. And something really special happened. Since I was saying I would probably not hit the 1150 divines or a mirror on day 4, I started buying some ambition. So this is a vol aspect that's part of the Adorn Jewel, and for some reason I bought them really cheap at like 120, 130 chaos, and I had a bunch of them, and at some point, I don't know why exactly, people started buying out all of them, so I just sold a bunch of them at 2 divines, so that was an easy profit. I also sold the 3 curiosity I had, so those I only had 3, but still I actually found one myself. I show you after the sales, and the other 2 I just bought them for 9 or 10 divines. Sometimes some stuff come up on the trade website for really cheap, so I just picked up this base for like a small portion of what it's worth. Then I've used a Sego license on it and actually sold it like 10 minutes later. Selling crystallized life force, buying the invitation for a shabby, then just selling the crystallized life force was still pretty easy money. Of course, I was still selling regrets, orbs of unmaking, gem cutter prison, and turning the currency, the chaos, into exalted orbs, so warlord, redeemer, and stuff, and also selling the delay orbs. Selling all Maven Writs from getting Crescent Splinters from invitations. And since splitting logbooks was such an easy money, it was a no-brainer. Whenever I saw a logbook with a boss, I would just split it and sell the both halves for a profit. Just one quick tip on how you can get a bunch of divine by just finding the curiosity. It will probably keep climbing because the Adorn Jewel is one of the best, if not the best jewel in the game right now. But anyway, so the curiosity can only drop from a single boss, and it's Hau at totally, and that one is in Delve. So in order to find him, you have to find a zone with the Val Outpost, and it has to be this node, the Grand Architect Temples. So how do we find this? I'll show you in game. If you look at here, this is some Val Outposts. You can see there was one boss in here. I think it was right here. Yeah, it was right here. And I actually killed him, and he dropped the curiosity. And I have another one here, so I could try to do it there and just get another curiosity. But yeah, this is the only delve I did. The rest, I didn't touch delve at all this league. So yeah, if just look at your map, and if you see a Val outpost with a boss, well, it could be a 12th divine. So yeah, keep an eye out for this. He also drops a bunch of other cool stuff. So yeah, just take a look at your delve mine, and maybe you have some hidden currency you don't know about. So yeah, this is the currency we have right now, 519 divines, a couple of chaos. I also have some bulk stuff I have to sell, some craft. I have some Maven Myths left. So I would say maybe I'm up to 650 divines if I sell every currency stuff, and maybe 800 divines if I sell all the craft, maybe 900 if I sell all the craft. So we have it another day. I don't know if I'll be able to first get up to 1150 divines for a mirror. And the other thing is I don't know if we'll be able to sell all the stuff we have, so we'll see. But yeah, this is it for day 3. Hopefully this helped you, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and also if you have any question, leave it down in the comment section. I'll try to answer every single question. And as always, take care, guys.